I'm going to share with you 3 questions that will help you reflect on the goals that maybe you've already set for the new year, or maybe goals that you're about to set. The first question you need to ask yourself is, are your goals too vague and are they not specific enough? The reason why I ask this is because maybe one of your goals is to get fit. Now, when you say that, do you mean as fit as a model? Do you mean as fit as Cristiano Ronaldo? Do you mean as fit as an athlete? How do you define fit? Or is it just fit enough to walk up your stairs without feeling tired? Becoming more specific about the goals you want to achieve means that you're more likely to understand how much planning is involved in terms of time and resources and how you're going to make it fit into your incredibly busy week. Try to make your goals as specific as possible. The second question you need to ask yourself is, are your goals too grand to be achievable? Now, I'm a big believer in defining your destiny and reaching and accomplishing your goals, but Bill Gates said a fantastic piece of wisdom that I want to share with you. He said that actually people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. We always feel that we can make a bigger change quickly by impulsively acting rather than building blocks that will actually be great foundations for future success. What you need to do this year is actually try and find digestible blocks of work, little pieces of action that will help you effectively bring about change in small areas of your life. When these add up and build together, you'll gain momentum, and that will affect things in the future for you as well. The third question you need to ask yourself is, are you surrounded by the right people and are you influenced by the right people? If, for example, your goal is to give up chocolate, it won't help if you work at a chocolate factory, you live next to a chocolate manufacturer, your best friend loves chocolate, and you're making chocolate cake on the weekends. It's just not going to be possible. You need to be spending time with people who have the same goal, but also people who've achieved that goal and made it into a habit.
What does excite you? What does motivate you? What is something that would make you and your life better? So one thing I'll share with you is I believe there's 2 types of goals. There's result-oriented goals and process-oriented goals. Okay, result and process. A result is you losing 30 pounds, or you gaining 10 pounds of muscle, or you making a certain amount of money, $100,000 in a year, let's say. That's a result. It's great to have results. I'm a very results-oriented person. You want to have results that are specific and measurable. Okay, it's exactly, this is how much fat that I'm going to lose, or this is what it's going to show on the scale. This is how much money that I want to make. And that allows you to measure that so that over the next 12 months, every month or every week, you can check in. You can weigh yourself. You can check your body fat with body fat calipers and take measurements in your body, or measure how much money you received. And you can see whether or not you're on track, and having a goal like that that's based on result is an indicator for you to measure it to see whether or not you need to change your approach or change your action plan along the way. Now, the thing with results though, you don't have full control over the result, do you? You don't fully have control over how much weight you're going to lose or how much money you're going to make. You only have influence at best. You can influence that result, but what leads to that result is a process. So that's why I believe you've got to have process-oriented goals as well. See, most people, they only focus on the result, and oftentimes when they don't achieve the result, they get discouraged and they give up. They believe they failed, and they make it mean that it didn't work. They make it mean that I'm not good enough, and that pain prevents them from setting new goals in the future. But my friends, as Tony Robbins says, the past does not equal the future. Just because you failed in the past doesn't mean you will again in the future. You know, right now is a brand new moment, a brand new opportunity. You're different, you're better today than you ever were before. You cannot continue to allow the past to define your future. Otherwise, you keep bringing the past baggage into your present and in your future, and then your future looks more like your past. Let's cut off the past. The past is dead and gone. You can't do anything about it. You can learn from it and think about how you can utilize what you learned and maybe analyze why you didn't achieve your goal, or what you can do better, or try something else or something new. But you always have to have hope and optimism. You can never be pessimistic. So you've got to have goals that are based on a process. So to lose 30 pounds, what's the process? Maybe that's going to the gym 3 days a week. Great. Set that as a goal. You have control over that. You don't have control over the result. You have absolute control over the process and what you do. And if you do that, I'm going to work out 3 days a week. It will lead to that result of losing 30 pounds. Maybe you got to change up the process. Maybe you got to add a diet to it and implement and improve the process. But if you fall in love with that and you master it, all the results will follow from that.
Next, write your goals or goal down on a sheet of paper. Only 3% of adults have written goals, and everyone else plans to write them down someday. Success begins with a piece of paper, a pen, and a few minutes of your time. You can start with the 3-goal method. In less than 30 seconds, quickly write down your 3 most important goals in life right now. Whatever 3 goals you manage to write down is probably an accurate picture of what you really want in life. When you actually write a goal down, it is as if you are programming it into your subconscious mind and activating a whole series of mental powers that will enable you to accomplish much more than you ever dreamed of. You begin to expect to achieve the goal, and you start to attract people and circumstances into your life that are consistent with the attainment of your goal.
I ask countless people when they're setting goals, do they do this one part? And I've never heard many people do this, and I know it's why my goals come to life. I want you to attach an emotion, especially if you come back and do this again and you're sitting and you're thinking through, best year of my life, this is the money I'm making, this is the job I'm doing, or the company I have, this is the feeling I have. Now, I want you to attach an emotion to that success. What will you feel like if you were making $250 a year, $5 million a year? What would you feel as an emotion on a regular basis? If you were making $100,000 a month, which many of you said, would you feel more confident? How does confidence feel? No, seriously, I don't want to just blow past this and say, oh, you'll feel confident. Oh, what's it? No, right now, me and you, how does confidence feel in your life? How does confidence feel? And how will it feel if you're never worried about money again? I'm not saying you have $100 million in money. I'm just saying money is never something you think about ever again. You want something, you buy it. You want to take a vacation, you go. You want to do something different, you make it happen. Someone in your family's sick, you cut the check. You want to do that special birthday party, buy the new car, you cut a check. What does that confidence feel like? I want you to feel that level of confidence, knowing that nobody can control you. Nobody can take away your freedom. Nobody could tell you where to live, how to dress. You want to coach your kids baseball. You want to take off when you want to. You want to take your girlfriend someplace, take your boyfriend someplace, retire your parents, get your wife out of a job she hates. What does that confidence feel like? What kind of man do you feel like when you walk through the door? What kind of woman that can control her own destiny? What do you feel like when you're in control, when those goals become a reality?
This new page is about your discipline. How many hours a day are you going to spend working on your goal? How often are you going to come back to this book and look at it? I want you to write out, I am, I always, I have, I do, and I want you to fill that in. You see, the best goal in the world will not work if you don't work. And many people fail at this point. They write out a goal. My goal is to be a millionaire. My goal is to be famous. My goal is to be wildly in love. And they think that's it. It's not it. If you want to be madly in love, write out all the reasons why, but then you have got to put yourself in front of the kind of person you want to share your life with. If you want to start your own business and you have a reason why, you also need to have the discipline to meet people who will fund you, sponsor you, joint venture with you. So I want you to really understand that the best goal will not work if you don't work. You can have the start point, but you have to keep going. Many of the most successful people ever say, well, you know, I had a goal. Luther Vandross had a goal to be a rock star. And people said, well, you're an overnight success. He went, I don't think so. You know, I sang jingles for KFC for 12 years. That's a long night, 12 years. And people said, but Luther, you're singing on television. That's cool. You get paid a lot of money for KFC. He said, yeah, but it's not my goal. And he stuck it out. And many people have got so close to success and had to keep going. And you have to keep going. So look at your discipline and decide you will give more to your goal. Give even more. Work on it, look at it, write it out, think about it, talk about it. You must be prepared to give so much to your goal. In fact, you must be prepared to be unstoppable in the pursuit of your goal.
Is it a good plan to have other ideas besides your main plan, so that if for some reason it doesn't work out or it isn't as you wanted, you can then move to your plan B straight away? Or should I keep at just one plan, pushing through it, even if it appears the avenue is closing?
Absolutely not. No plan B. Burn the boats. Now, having said that, if you're already in a job, you're making some money, there's no reason to quit your job and all of that. Like, keep that, keep paying the bills. But in terms of what's that real vision that you're trying to build, don't like nickel and dime yourself with like, I'm going to have 3 things. It's like, pick a horse, ride it, right? So let's just beat this analogy to death. You're in a room, there's 1,000 doors. Your job is to shut 999 of them and walk through one. So don't plan for failure, because then your mind is thinking about all the things that you don't want. You get what you focus on. So if you're like hedging and like planning over here, like instead take our boy Richard Branson's path, which is I'm going to launch an airline and I'm going to protect myself from the downside. So I'm going to make Boeing agree contractually to buy it back if my airline doesn't succeed. So there's no reason not to protect yourself from the downside there. I'm a huge believer in that. But in terms of like, what is your path? What are you trying to accomplish? What is the thing that makes you feel come alive? Like, do that. Like, don't try to have a bunch of different things. You will be so distracted. You won't do any of them well. So pick one thing, go hard, and allow for the, like, emotionally prepare. I may fail spectacularly in an ugly, horrific fashion, but I've done everything I can to protect my downside. I really believe in the thing that I'm doing, and I really believe that I'll learn from the failure if it comes. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to plan for it. I am literally, I have a why. There's something that I believe in so much that I'm prepared to give myself to it completely. And I think that notion of give yourself completely to it. Like, I am not conflicted about what I'm trying to build here, which is why I don't mind dedicating 7 days a week. I don't mind spending an inordinate amount of time on it. I got, my wife and I did it together so that we could be growing together. Like, spending money on it is just not a problem because I know exactly what I'm trying to do and I know why I'm trying to do it. So yeah, that's my answer.
Invest in yourself and grow daily by subscribing to Driven.